Okay, we're going to start with our half push-up. So you're going to have a good set-up position. Take the time for a good set-up position. Hands directly under the shoulders. Imagine that you're holding orange under the chin. Your shoulders are slid down into the shoulder blades. Elbows just off the lock. Knees under the hips. In neutral spine. And you're going to breathe in, taking your forehead to the floor. Breathe out as you come up. Breathe in, keep your core engaged. Breathe out as you come back up. As you breathe in, big, strong thoracic breaths. Try and visualize the air going into the lungs, pushing the ribs out. And you want to do between 6 to 10 of these. Okay? Be careful you don't bring the shoulders up around the ears or arch the back. That's a big no-no. Okay? Hold it in neutral spine. If in doubt, it's safe to round the back that way, but never that way. Okay? So 6 to 10 repetitions. If that's too hard, you don't have to go all the way to the mat. If it's too easy, then you can come into a full push-up. Breathing in as you go down, breathing out as you come up. From there, you're going to go work a different set of muscles. You're going to come onto your side, nice straight line. Make sure this arm's in a straight line above your head. Ankle over ankle, knee over knee, hip over hip. Okay, you're still in neutral spine, so you can still check your neutral spine in that position. A rough guide, just keeping those thumbs and fingers level, as I showed you in the previous video. And you're going to rest your head on your arm. Engage the core. Level 1, breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, lift one leg and hold for 6 to 10 thoracic breaths. Big, strong, full breaths. Breathing in through the nose, pushing the rib towards the mat. Breathing out through the mouth. After 6 to 10 breaths, you can rest. If that's too easy, slightly harder, engage the core, breathe in thoracically to prepare. As you breathe out, lift both legs as high as you can. Try and lift the waist away from the floor. And really focus on the strength of the legs. Lift them up high. Okay, you're lifting from the waist. It's going to get those love handles, so it's strengthening the obliques. Still getting the abs. It's getting the core, the lower back at the same time, as well as around the tops of the hips. So again, you can hold for 6 to 10 breaths. If you'd like to make it slightly harder from there, as you breathe out, you extend the top leg in front of you and breathe in as you come back. But it's very important to keep the rest of your body still. So you're not going to move your back as you do it, okay? And you can repeat that 6 to 10 times. And if you're feeling really strong, then you're going to lift the shoulders and the elbows off the floor at the same time. Still keeping those hips stacked, okay? Still maintaining neutral spine. That's it, lovely. And then you repeat that on the left and right side. From there, the 100. Feet and knees in line with the seat bones. Take time to find a good setup position. Okay, so check you're in neutral spine before you start. Shoulders stabilised, arms by your side. Now, it's really important that you maintain neutral spine throughout this exercise, okay? So deep thoracic breath in to prepare. As you breathe out, engage the core, holding the hips very straight and still. Very smoothly float the knee above the hip and hold for 5 deep thoracic breaths. Keeping any unwanted tension away from the shoulders. And again, do not let the back lift off the floor. If in doubt, it's safer to push the back down into the floor. After your 5 breaths, I want you to hold the hips very still, keep core engaged. And imagine you're putting your foot onto a little kitten. You don't want to crush the kitten. As you change the leg over, you must not let the weight shift. Check the shoulders haven't tensed. Breathe out. Float the other knee above the hip. Shin parallel to the ceiling. Still maintaining neutral spine with the hips straight. And again, hold for 5 breaths. And then breathe in after your 5 breaths. And float your foot back to starting position. Be careful that you don't just slump the leg down because the hip will move and the back will move. Level 2, engage the core, breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, float the knee above the hip, shin parallel to the ceiling. Then you're going to push the lower back right into the floor. This is imprinting the spine. It protects the back while you raise the second leg. Be very careful that you don't tense the shoulders here. Okay? Once you've raised both knees, you're going to come back into neutral spine and take deep thoracic breaths. Now here, you want to try and keep the abs relaxed. Just breathing thoracically will be enough to engage the deep core muscles. The telltale sign of when you're tired is your legs will start shaking like that. So, maintaining neutral spine, breathe in, hold the hips straight, carry the foot back to the floor, and on the next in-breath, float the next foot back down onto your imaginary kitten. So that exercise is going to strengthen your corset of muscles. Okay? Next one, really good for mobilising the back. Arms out to the side, still strengthening the core and the shoulders. Deep breath in to prepare. As you breathe out, drop the knees one way, the head the other way. Deep breath in as you centre, and breathe out, drop the knees the other way, and the head the opposite way. As you come back to centre, make sure you're either in neutral spine or pushing the back down into the floor. You're also going to be really careful of the shoulders, because the weight of the legs is going to want to shift the weight of the shoulders from side to side. So you're not going to let that happen. You're keeping the shoulders slid down into the shoulder blades, trying to hold the shoulders level to the floor. Okay? Breathing out as you drop the knees to the side, and breathing in as you centre. And again, for level 2, you come up into the 100 position. Breathe out as you raise the knee above the hip. Breathe in, imprint the spine. Keep the core engaged without tensing the shoulders. Float second leg up with an imprinted spine. Come back into neutral spine now. Really scoot those abs inwards and upwards. And breathe out. Drop the knees one way, the head the opposite way. Breathing in as you centre. Really trying hard to keep those shoulders pushed down into the floor. Don't let the feet touch. Use the stabilising muscles as much as you can. And again, you're going to do between 6 to 10 on each leg. If you've got a bad lower back, then just stick to level 1. When you've finished your 6 to 10 repetitions, breathe in, carry the leg onto your imaginary kitten. Don't let the shoulders tense. Keep the movement very smooth. On the next in-breath, still a straight back. Still a straight pelvis. Breathe in, float the next foot back to the floor. Lovely. And this time you're going to bring the feet right up to the seat bones. This is called the shoulder bridge. Okay, it's going to strengthen the abs, the lower back. It's still getting the glutes and the hamstrings, but it mobilises the back as well. So, scoot those abs inwards and upwards. Pull that navel towards the spine and up. 100% effort. Level 1. Breathe in
lift the body off the floor, holding the hips straight. And as you breathe out, it's as if you're putting your back into a deck chair. You're trying to push your back into the shape of a deck chair towards the floor. Really getting that lower back into the floor. So level one again, scoop the abs inwards and upwards. Breathe in, tilting the pelvis forward, lifting the hips up, coming into a bridge position. Maintain the distance between the legs. And as you breathe out, you're pushing the back into a C shape, into the floor, especially that lower back. Really be careful to keep those abs scooped inwards and upwards. Level two, breathe in, then out. When you get to the top, breathe in, float your arms over your head. Breathe out, bring the arms back over the head, still holding the hips straight. Breathe in again. As you breathe out, try and visualize the vertebrae, one by one, going down to the floor, pushing that spine into a C shape. Okay? Now, if you've been doing Pilates for 6 months to a year, and you could maintain those positions and your back's stable as you do it, and you're very straight as you do it, the next level up, you breathe in and out. When you get to the top, holding the hips very still, breathe in, lengthen the leg towards the ceiling. Breathe out, take the foot back to starting position, and breathe in, lengthen the other leg towards the ceiling. Breathe out, take the foot back to starting position, and you're holding those hips as still as possible. If you're new to this exercise, I just recommend 1 or 2 on each side, but you're going to build up to doing 10 on each leg, okay? If you feel any discomfort in your lower back at any time, then you're going to rest by pushing that back into a C shape, still scooping the abs in, pushing the lower back right into the floor before you come back into neutral spine. Lovely, okay? Now, this time we're going to come back onto the front, okay, for the plank. So for your set-up position, imagine you've got a bolt going from your elbow up to your shoulder. Open those chest bones, toes in, heels out, and imagine you're holding an orange under your chin, keeping the shoulders slid down into the shoulder blades. Level one's quite hard to coordinate. You can't really see me do much. I'm just going to push the pubic bone into the floor until I can feel my multifidus there, engage. Now the reason why I've got my toes in and my heels out is because I don't want to use my gluteals, my buttocks, for this muscle. So you've got to try and keep the buttocks relaxed. Now the trick is, if you feel you're tensing your buttocks, you're probably trying too hard. So just push the pubic bone in, just gently, into the floor, and you should feel that in the lower back. To make it slightly harder, you can come up onto just above the knees, maintain a neutral spine as if you're holding an orange under your chin, and if you can maintain that easily for 6 to 10 breaths, curl the toes under and come up onto all fours. Again, if you can keep the shoulders stabilised and hold neutral spine, and you'd like to make it harder, then you're going to take the hands under the shoulders, breathe in, bring the knee up, turn the body, tap to the side, and take a foot back to starting position. Bring the knee up, tap to the side, and come back to starting position. If you can hold anything for more than 10 breaths, then you need to make it harder, okay? Otherwise, it will turn into an endurance exercise rather than a strengthening exercise. Now we're going to go and work a different muscle group now. So, coming back onto the side. This is the side kick. So we've done one side, we're going to go to the other side. Ankle over ankle, knee over knee, hip over hip. Make sure that arm's in a straight line above your head, so no bananas. Okay. Engage the core, breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, level 1, lift one leg, maintain that position for 6 to 10 breaths. Level 2, lift both legs as high as you can from the waist. Try and lengthen through the waist here and hold statically for 6 to 10 breaths. Harder still, breathe out, extend the top leg in front of you and breathe in as you come back. Again, you could repeat that 6 to 10 times, or if you've been doing Pilates for a long time, you're going to lift the shoulders and the elbows off the floor. Again, hold for 6 to 10 breaths, deep thoracic breaths, and rest. Well done.
Now this time, we're going to come into an exercise called spine twist. The spine twist is really good for mobilising the back, okay?